All right, so I just got done watching Victor Wembanyama's Summer League debut, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's Summer League, and honestly, who really gives a shit? Although I wish I was there because, it's basically NBA con at this point. But Wembanyama made his debut, and he struggled shooting the ball. He did have a few moments where he ran the floor nicely, had a seal and a post up and an and one for his first basket, but really struggled shooting the three ball. It also kind of looked like there was a little bit of nerves too, because that gym looked packed, and it was probably the most hyped Summer League game in a long time. Honestly, definitely since, Zion, or even, the Lonzo Ball Summer League Lakers. But the shot wasn't going. Wembanyama's passing did pop a little bit, actually, more so than, when he played back in October and played those 2 games against G League Ignite. But there were some nice passes. There were a few passes where you wish the teammate would finish the basket. He had one in particular where he did a between the legs dribble, drove to the basket, and then, jumped up and did a nice little dump off pass. But, his teammate couldn't finish it. So there were a few plays like that. There were also a few plays where, he was stood up physically, got the ball stripped a few times. But my other takeaway from this is that people are just fucking miserable. People just like to rain on the parade of people who are amazed that a 7'6" person can move the way he does. Yeah, he struggled tonight, and yeah, he wasn't the best player on the floor tonight. It was probably either Blake Wesley or Malachi Branham, but Wembanyama still played, decently. He played well on the defensive end, although he did get beat a few times. Kai Jones dunked all over him. It's one of the most disrespectful dunks I've ever seen. But no, if you're looking for the hyped Summer League game between, the number 1 and number 2 prospect, in terms of spectacular performances, that didn't happen tonight. And even if those performances did happen, you shouldn't take this one way or the other. I still obviously think Victor Wembanyama is a great prospect, and a handful of Summer League games is not going to change that for me. But, people will jump to their jokes and then do the stupid thing where they blame the people who are fans of Wembanyama for their eventual hatred of said player. Oh, you guys overcover him so much, you're going to make me hate him. That's just fucking loser shit, quite frankly. But, I guess everybody consumes basketball in their own way, no matter how stupid and loser-esque it is. But, life moves on. Victor Wembanyama did not have a great game, but it was great to see him out there. It was cool to see that legends like Kareem and Jerry West were out there, to see this. Because the minute Victor Wembanyama was drafted, that was a tentpole moment in NBA history. And that meant that this Summer League debut was a tentpole moment in NBA history, because everybody wanted to see this guy. He probably won't play many more Summer League games, I imagine. And also another note from that game, when players were falling all over the floor, there was one play earlier, I think it was in the first quarter, where, Victor tried to grab the ball in the backcourt while it was going out of bounds, and Kai Jones almost rolled into Victor's leg, but he, barely got away from that. There's just a few times where Victor's in traffic and there's just bodies everywhere, and you just worry about those long limbs. But it was an okay performance from Victor Wembanyama. He shot like shit, but, that's going to happen. And his shooting, honestly, is going to be one of his question marks, for the first few years of his career. But he's a good kid, hard worker. I imagine that's going to buff itself out down the road. But he had a bad shooting game. He had an okay debut. Nothing more, nothing less. It's great to see him out there, though.